want to talk about American women versus foreign women. Some of the similarities, some of the differences, and pretty much everything in between, alright? Now, oftentimes, especially on social media, I get tagged in these different conversations by brothers who may have just started traveling, or they may have some type of experience with a foreign chick fresh across the border from another country. And so they tend to go from holding all women on a pedestal to now just holding maybe South American women on a pedestal, or maybe Asian women, or Eastern European women, or Middle Eastern women, or whatever type of chick they think they're gonna have a better experience with as opposed to the Western woman. And speaking for myself personally, there's still a lot of places I haven't been, but just with the little bit of traveling I've been doing, I've experienced that before, so I feel them on that. So I'm gonna just start by saying this. If you're an American male and you have the opportunity to get up out the US and travel, and listen, half of this ain't even got nothing to do with women no more. I'm gonna get back to them in a minute. If you got the opportunity to travel outside of the US and see the world, you need to get yourself a passport and get up out the US, fam, like yesterday, G, for real. And listen, I'm not saying this to besmirch or belittle the United States. We may have different opinions on this, but I think this is a great, amazing country. We got our problems like everybody else, but at the end of the day, if you're an American, I think you need to count your blessings. But I do highly recommend that we all travel, and that goes for men and women, just for the sake of the experience. But anyway, fuck all that. What up with the foreign chicks, G? Foreign chicks, foreign chicks, foreign chicks. Everybody checking for the foreign chick. And trust me, I get it. What's not to love about a foreign chick? Shit, even here in Chicago, all these hoes claim they foreign, knowing damn well they from Stony Island and Cottage Grove. Like, everybody wants to be a foreign, and every man wants a foreign. So what's really to them? Why is that? Let's get into it. Now, there's a lot of things I find to be attractive in women from abroad. Namely, their different accents when it comes to them speaking English. I just find it to be arousing and entertaining at times. A lot of foreign women have noticeably different figures as a result of their different diets and different activities from Americans. If their diet consists of less processed foods and they have more activities, more moving around, you'll find that there's a greater abundance of women who are in good shape in these other countries. Now, don't get it twisted now. That doesn't mean there aren't big girls or homely looking bitches in these other countries. Let's not be ridiculous. But when these other guys glorify foreign women for their physical beauty, what they're usually referring to is the fact that these young, attractive, in-shape women are so abundant that they become the norm in that particular area or region. It really gives you some contrast as to realizing how common attractive women really are worldwide. Or better yet, I'll give y'all an example that I like to use to help put things in perspective on this. Alright, so check it out. Let's say you're from a small town or a particular part of town. Let's take the block that you live on, for example. Now, out of all the chicks that live on this block, you may have one or two chicks that are the finest women on the block. So naturally, everybody on your block, and even the next block over maybe, is going to be checking for these two chicks because these bitches from the block. But the finest chicks on your block may not be the finest chicks in the neighborhood. And the finest chicks in the neighborhood may not be the finest chicks in the city. And the finest chicks in the city ain't going to be the finest chicks in the state or the region or the country. And they definitely ain't the finest bitch in the world. Alright, and to take it even further, even if you come across the finest woman in the world, a person can only hold that title for so long, alright? So this shit ain't set in stone. This is a revolving door of youth and beauty. And for you to travel to different places and for you to see how common beautiful women really are, over time it desensitizes you to these attributes that are pretty superficial to begin with. But in all honesty, it's something that we all yearn for. So anybody that's out here dating or even just messing around sports fucking is gonna be interested in the most aesthetically appealing mate they can attract, whether they're willing to act on that impulse or not. But really what's even more important to me under these circumstances, and what I would like for you all to keep in mind, is what this abundance does to the psyche of the women that you're dealing with. See, if a chick knows she's the finest chick in the room, and every guy she come across is trying to get at her, she can afford to be a bitch by supply and demand. Male thirst is high, shit, competition is low. She can be as much of a bitch as she wants, and she'll still be sought after due to the laws of supply and demand. But check this out, when a majority of women look the same, or they're all just as visually appealing as the next chick, now all of a sudden they need to have more to offer than just their looks to attract and keep a man. Either that, or that's all they need are their looks and less attitude as possible. So regardless of if they the finest chick in town or not, if they want to keep a man that's not a complete and utter simp, they gotta lose or conceal that attitude real quick. Cause given these circumstances, any man with any level of self-respect ain't gonna take a whole lot of bullshit. He gonna be like, look, shorty, you can move around with all that goof ass shit, and I'll holler at old girl to stay 3 feet away from you, bitch. Fuck you in. Look, I think foreign women are great, alright? A lot of times they're beautiful, they're different, they're exotic, and it's just a different experience. So if you got the opportunity, I say go for it. Fuck all that pro-black ass shit, fuck all that white nationalist, stick it to your own kind. I'm not telling you to go marry these hoes, I'm just saying don't cheat yourself and explore your options. But don't get too caught up in the hype of these blogs, these videos, and these forums telling y'all that foreign women are just the end-all be-all. Because they basically just replacing American women on a pedestal for foreign women on the same pedestal. And my philosophy is enough women are like that. Some people say all women are like that. But come on, man. Let's stop acting like we could just hop on the other side of the pond and all of the women are perfect. Come on, G. Women are women. It's everywhere. Just like men are men everywhere. We all subject to the same human nature, the same biological imperatives. It's just a matter of different cultures having different approaches to the same shit and different people having different extremes of the same problems. That's all it is. What y'all think? Foreign women not hypergamous or something? you think different countries are not gynocentric? No, fam, it's pretty much the same across the board. It's just some cultures can afford to express their misandry more than others. And it depends on the economy. And like I said, supply and demand of the different types of men and women these people have access to. Stop chasing foreign and become the foreign. When I was in Paris, half of the people I met, all of the mingling I did, the chicks I was flirting with, and the parties I ended up going to, gee, all I did was ask directions. Excuse me, can you tell me how I can get to the fucking Eiffel Tower? Or I'm trying to get to the Arc de Triomphe. Where's the Louis Vuitton? So I'm just asking questions, and that's all it took, because instantly people, they already know. I remember one chick, she was like, so where are you from in America? And I damn near was like, how the fuck you know I'm from America? You know what I'm saying? Is it that obvious? I said Chicago. First thing she get to talking about is Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. She like, oh, Kanye West, Chicago Bulls. That's another common response you get. Chicago Bulls, you know, you just say where you from, and if you in another country, they just gonna blurt out whatever comes to mind that reminds them of where you're from and shit. And that's a conversation. The same would apply to a Frenchman if he was here in Chicago. All he gotta do is be himself because he's in an area where he's not common. So stop glorifying foreign women as if they're the end-all be-all or as if they're these mythical creatures. They're not. They're just different. And that's a good thing. Variety is the spice of life. But you have that same capability. Go somewhere where you're not common and just do you. Mind your fucking business. Take selfies. Take pictures. Be friendly. If somebody staring at your motherfucking ass, hey, what's going on? How you doing? I like it out here. I'm not from here. You know, that type of shit starts a conversation and you become the foreign. Wherever I go, I'm the foreign. And sure, I want to embrace the culture of wherever I'm at, but at the end of the day, I'm walking around this bitch like, look, I'm from America. I'm from Chicago. And we should embrace that. A lot of times people are ashamed that they from America, especially black folks. Like, I rarely ever hear black people call themselves American. They're ashamed of that, or they feel like, oh, I'm not American, I'm an African in America. I mean, yeah, there's some truth to that if that's what you want to believe, but I'm letting you know now, wherever else you go, you're an American first, and then you wherever else you want to be second. Motherfuckers ain't gonna be looking at you like, oh, it's the black guy. Unless they got that Western mentality, but for the most part, you're an American first. You become the exotic creature. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers don't see you every day. Even if they see people like you, it ain't you. Y'all know I'm not the most social butterfly. I really don't even like talking to people. Why does it look like I'm just the man when I go somewhere else? Because it ain't because I'm really the man. It's because, oh, you're an American. You're something different. So motherfuckers they'll look at you and be like, man, shit, what up? What you doing here? How did you get over here? And I'll be asking myself the same thing. Like, damn, how the fuck I get over here? But that's that's fun. It's something different. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, variety is the spice of life. I would recommend that any man of any race, color, creed, whatever, just get out here and explore the world. Experience everything that it has to offer. Of course, use any kind of leverage you can use. And if that means you only deal with foreign chicks, then, I mean, that's on you. Do your thing. But me personally, I don't subscribe to that thought that the foreign chick is the end-all be-all. I think it's 31 flavors out here, and why not experience all 31 flavors? But at the end of the day, all that shit is just ice cream. Even if you call it gelato, that's another form of ice cream. You know what I'm saying? So that's about it for now. That's all I could really rant for. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll holler at y'all in the comment section. Peace.